storm coming. We have a vote at 10:30. We have a lot of people moving and a lot of pieces in place, including some of our witnesses that are here today. So we're going to start promptly at 10, which we're doing. I'll make a brief opening statement. If the ranking member is here in time, I'll recognize him. If not, he can make his statement later on in the hearing. We'll then go to Secretary McDonald, who has asked, and I have granted, no limitation on time, so we don't have a 5-minute red light. We're going to let him take the time he needs to make his testimony, which I think is only appropriate given the serious intent of this particular hearing, which allows me to thank Senator Tillis and Senator Tester, the two who originated the idea of having the Secretary come to lay out the entire vision for the VA and the VA care program, and I'm glad the Secretary has come and agreed to do that. And I'm delighted to be able, and the ranking member has made it, so you're lucky you're not going to get cut out after all. So,
Don't.
And any member of the committee other than the ranking member myself who wants to make a statement can submit it for the record after the hearing is over. So I'll make a brief statement and then go to Senator Blumenthal, and then we'll go directly to the Secretary, which we hopefully can accomplish all of that before the 10:30 vote. We'll then go to vote at 10:30 and rush back here for unlimited questioning until noon today. And I thank everybody for being here. I want to first of all especially thank Dale Barnett. Dale, would you stand up for a second and remain standing? I just love to tell officers that. It's so much fun. Dale is the American Legion National Commander, and he's from Douglasville, Georgia, which is the county next to my county of Cobb in the state of Georgia, and he's from the Fayetteville Legion Post. Is that not correct?
That is correct.
We want to thank you for your service and that of all of your members' service to our country, but your continuing service to help support us on this VA committee, because you are the eyes and ears in the clinics, in the CBOCs, and in the hospitals that give us the feedback for us to try and see to it that we hold the Veterans Administration accountable. And then nobody has a better, more conscientious, more constructive view than the American Legion. I want to thank you for what y'all have done. Appreciate your being here to hear the testimony today, and we'll appreciate your comments. I've read some of them already, but after you hear the hearing, any additional comments you have for the record, we will be happy to submit. So welcome, and we're glad to have you, Dale.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I want to talk about 3 things in my opening remark, and 3 things only. I'm interested in making choice ultimately work for the veteran and for the Veterans Administration and for the taxpayer. We've had some issues come up recently in anticipation of this hearing taking place, so I'm going to make them public in my testimony so the Secretary can at a point in time in his testimony address those. We had a situation in New Hampshire in the past couple of weeks where we have lost providers, which I think Dr. Shulkin is already aware of. And the issue basically gets down to prompt pay. We have got to get a situation in the Veterans Administration where a physician can reasonably anticipate a prompt payment for services rendered under the CHOICE program, or CHOICE won't work. And in my hearing that the Secretary was kind enough to come to in Hall County in Gainesville, Georgia, back, I guess, in December or November of last year, we learned that some of the cumbersome nature of the paperwork that's required by the third-party administrators to get an appointment set up has to be worked on between the VA and the third-party administrator. But once the appointment's set up and the bill is actually sent, the VA has to expedite or reasonably speed up the prompt payment so a doctor and a physician in the hospital really want to provide that benefit. That's a goal I'd like to see us continue to work on and do everything we can to do. We also had the khaki situation in my state of Georgia, which I think the Secretary is already familiar with, as well as the other members, where we continue to find cases where the Inspector General finds backlogs in terms of records. In the case of khaki, we had boxes of records that were supposed to have been scanned and put in the VA system that were stacked up in a corner, which was bad for veterans, bad for accountability, and something we need to work on to make sure we do. The point I'm trying to make is it's the little things that get you, not the big things. The big vision in terms of the VA for the Secretary is one I admire and I'm looking forward to hear from. But it's the little things that fall through the cracks that cause you the biggest problems. And I think for all of us on the committee and our districts on a daily basis, it's prompt pay, it's accessibility to the CHOICE program, it's accountability within the VA, it's a kind of a no excuses, the dog ate my homework type of environment, but instead a can-do type of environment. The Secretary has been a great leader for the department since he was sworn in July, I think, of 2015. Is that not correct?
Yes, sir.
We've got about 11 months to go under the current administration. We want to make every single month count for our veterans and for the taxpayer, and I look forward to chairing the committee as we work hand in hand to do that, overcome our obstacles, bring about accountability, and provide better service at a better cost to the veterans of the United States of America. And with that, I'll recognize Secretary Blumenthal, or Ranking Member Blumenthal.